Hello, and thank you for joining me for our Flip video lesson 3.01, How Do We Know? So today our lesson details 3.01. We are reading Human Odyssey, reading pages 35 to 36, or I should say you are reading for your lesson today. Student workbook pages 43 to 46. Your OMS assignment will be 3.01, and we are talking today about archaeologists and historians. So we are starting a new unit. We're now on Unit 3. So I'm going to go ahead and just give a quick overview of the entire unit, and then we'll move specifically into 3.01. A closer look, the Mesopotamian moment. Agriculture, a system of writing, the wheel, and written law all developed in one small area of the world, Mesopotamia. How do we know? We have solid evidence. As archaeologists and historians continue to work in the area between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, our knowledge grows and changes. People a century ago knew only a fraction of what you will know about Mesopotamia. Archaeological digs and written records tell us how early people lived and worked. So we have a bunch of learning objectives for Unit 3. We actually have 2 pages. But for today's lesson, we're just going to be covering the first 2. Describe ways in which archaeologists draw conclusions about people of the past and distinguish between the work of historians and archaeologists. And you can see this is the second page here. Introduction. Prehistoric people did not leave any written records. Therefore, archaeologists and historians must piece together information about the past. They study human fossils and artifacts such as tools, jewelry, or pottery. Studying artifacts and fossils isn't easy or exact, but the results are fascinating. Historian or archaeologist, what is the difference? Archaeologists and historians have contributed greatly to our knowledge of ancient Sumer. Scholars from both disciplines have scrutinized the scant evidence we have to solve many mysteries about the ancient civilization. How then do historians and archaeologists differ? Archaeologists are scientists who learn about the past by sifting through the dirt and studying objects from the past. Historians rely mainly on written or oral records to learn about the past. Historian or archaeologist. I found a spade-like tool at a dig in Syria. Using carbon dating techniques, I determined the tool was about 5,000 years old. I also tried to figure out where the metal used in the tool came from. Which office is appropriate for me? So the key here is I found a spade-like tool at a dig in Syria. This person was actually at a dig. They were physically there at the place. So their office would be the archaeology department. Historian or archaeologist. I studied the writing on clay tablets unearthed at a dig in Syria. I used that written information to figure out why the people who left the tablet traded with their neighbors to the north. Which office is appropriate for me? So the key here is I studied the writing on clay tablets. I used the written information to figure out why. This person would belong in the history department. This would be a historian. So now turn to your student guide, page 46. Historians and archaeologists both base their conclusions on hard evidence, but the type of evidence they use isn't always the same. Historians rely mainly on written or oral records to learn about the past. Archaeologists are scientists who learn about the past by sifting through the dirt and studying objects from the past. So go ahead and get your student guide out. Again, open to page 46. And you will see this. This is a Venn diagram. You've probably heard of Venn diagrams before, but if not, I'll go ahead and give a quick description. So basically a Venn diagram compares 2 things. So it uses things that are specific to one, in this case, historian, and specific to another, in this case, archaeologist. And then in the middle, where the 2 circles combine, it's something that would overlap between the 2, and in this case, historian and archaeologist. So you can go ahead and take a few minutes to fill out this chart on page 46 on what you believe would be in the historian part, what you would believe in the archaeology part, and then what you would believe would overlap between the 2. And you can always pause this video. And here are answers to that Venn diagram. So hopefully you were able to work on this on your own, and you can check your answers. We will also be doing this activity in class. And then if you turn to page 45 in your student guide, this is an optional activity. This is something you can do on your own. It's completely optional. You can do it, as I said, on your own. You can do it with your learning coach. You can do it with a sibling. You can do it with a friend. It doesn't even have to be someone that here is at school with you. It can be with anyone. You can create your own time capsule, something that would be specific to something going on now in your life, and then perhaps someone will find it many years down the road. Be sure to do your reading pages 34 to 36 for this lesson in your Human Odyssey book. Important vocabulary words to understand. Excavation. In archaeology, excavation is the exposure, processing, and recording of archaeological remains. An excavation site or dig is the area being studied. An artifact is an object made by a human being, typically an item of cultural or historical interest. A merchant is a buyer or seller of a product. And evidence is the available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. And this comes to our quote section of our flip video from the Harper Book of Quotations. Character is perfectly educated will. Thanks for joining me today. Stay positive, stay fighting, stay brave, stay ambitious, stay focused, and stay strong. Have a great day.